Hey, Jason, this is JC. Hey, buddy, got you a couple of spots that I would hit. Um, One thing I like to do is just get a general lay of the territory. So I just scrolled in, did a little research, came up with Forest City, and I imagine that's your county seat there, but it's in the Encyclopedia of Arkansas History and Culture. One thing that it mentions in here was that there were two skirmishes in the Civil War. One was at La Anguille Ferry. I imagine that's the river that's running through there, and one at Taylor's Creek in 1863. So the one at the La Anguille was a little bit bigger. I guess it's north of Mariana, and it was between Union and Confederate, obviously. And let's see, it was a Confederate victory, 17 killed, 40 wounded on the U.S. side. So the boys were doing their work down there, and it just talks about it. So that'd be something to look into. I did not see La Anguille marked on a map anywhere. Let me get over here to my Google Earth. I've expanded that overlay for you to include St. Francis interesting spots and historic topo maps. But by putting in the historic topo maps, I didn't see anything. And what I did, since the other ones are PDF versions, those were the only ones I could find, is I took a snapshot. Mariana was down here. There it is. And then this battle or skirmish was at whatever ferry crossing was north of there, crossing the La Anguille River. So I wish I had some more that I could give you on that one. There's no latitude and longitude listed or anything. And then the other one was at Taylor's Creek and Mount Vernon. So a little bit smaller battle. Still a little bit of activity there in those areas. So those are two spots. Maybe there's a historical marker. Yeah, here's some more details. Clayton, who I imagine was one of the commanding generals, let's see, reached the only causeway over the La Anguille River, Seaburns Bridge, just east of Taylor's Creek. So you can follow along, and what I like to do is just sketch it in on a map. Google Earth is great for that, and just write where the guys are coming in. And if you can find those books that I recommended, those will probably give you even more details. So let's see, and then visit the county museum. It is in the Rush Gates home in Forest City. So it was moved, let's see, in August of 97. Man, that'd be the first place I would hit, and just see what you might be able to pick up there. And I don't know how things are back there, but if landowners would give you permission to go on and find some things, man, I've got a great spot that I would go first. It's within 30 minutes of where you're at. So let me show you that real quick. It's an area on Crowley Ridge, southeast of Forest City. So here's Palestine, and this is the area that I'm looking at, and I'll show you the topographic. But this is the geocommunicator. It looks like somebody has a big mining claim down in that neighborhood. But let me show you what's piqued my interest as I was looking around those historic topo maps. All right. So the first thing I did, and actually let's turn off those layers real quick. But here's the current map. There's Palestine. And so what I did is I started looking close to home for you, and did those snapshots so that I could create a Google Earth overlay. So here's the 1940 overlay, and it doesn't line up exactly, and in fact Google Earth makes there be a difference. So like if you pull up latitude and longitude in Google Earth, it will not match on the ground. It's 100 feet off or whatever, and they do that just for, I don't know if it's national security purposes, but they do put a discrepancy in there so that a latitude and longitude off of Google Earth will not give you exactly what you're looking for. But you know, the old school sites, the old church sites down here. I went actually zoomed in on the Bolden School. You know, that looks like it's private property now. And to turn off these overlays so you can see the satellite map, you just hit that check mark right there. But, you know, there's a good sized building that doesn't look like a barn or anything else. I don't know if this is the old school building or not, but it looks like this may be private land now. That's one thing. One problem I've got is your county does not provide their property records where I could find them online, so I can't tell you who's the property owner. You know, you visit your county appraiser or tax recorder at the county offices. I believe it's there in Forest City on Izard Road. You visit them, and I tried to track it down, but the only thing I was coming up with is something allowing me to search, but I kept getting errors on everything I was trying to do because I did not have the actual street address, even though I was trying to convert it out of latitude and longitude. Once again, there's going to be some discrepancies, but even after searching for property appraiser in St. Francis County, I wasn't able to track it down for you, so I apologize for that. Now, let's see, the county collector and information, but here's everything. If you go to just St. Francis County, St. Francis County ar.org, that's the county website, and that's where you can start looking at property ownership and things like that, whether it's the assessor's office or treasurer's office. I'm not quite sure how you guys are doing it over there. So anyways, that mine, it's actually a mining claim, and once again, let me get back over there. Sorry for jumping around a little bit, but I didn't look at anything specifically in that area, but this is just the general neighborhood, and let me show you what I found. And let's jump back over to Google Earth. So anyways, there's that school. There was another school that actually piqued my interest quite a bit, and it was Crossroads School. It's down here. Oh man, that's probably as the crow flies 5 miles from you. But if you zoom in, there was a school, and on the old maps it's got that little pin flag. Let me hide that so you can see underneath it. But it's got the little box with a flag above it. Those were the schools, and a little box with a cross were the churches. But if you zoom in and then turn off that historic overlay, that is plowed ground, which means the school was there and is not anymore, obviously. But plowed ground is great to metal detect. There's always things. If you're plowing, you know, I don't know how much farming you've done, but you know, there's always things coming up in the ground, and if you can metal detect a specific area that you know there was something, man, silver coins, whatever it might be. I did try to look up some history of the local schools, but in fact, the way the schools were, I don't know if you've picked that up or not, but they were within walking distance for kids. So here's Mount Vernon School and Church, just up the road, Crossroad School, and then as you just slide around, the kids were walking, you know, 2 to 3 miles either way. Here's a place, Powers School. I did not get a chance to zoom in all of these for you. Let me show you what I would do first. Those school locations, the old church locations, are fantastic. You know, in Forest City, there was that, where was it? At the First Baptist Church, on the same grounds as the First Baptist Church. So there it is. There was a historic school, that institute in the report that I sent you. I don't know if this ground was it or whatever, but they've paved over most of it, so it's probably not the best place to be. But let me show you this over on the Park Place historical topo map. If you want to look at that, I'll just turn off Palestine for now. And once again, I tried to line it up best as I could, but wasn't really able to. But look at this area down here. This is that, the current topo map. You click that to overlay the current topo map. This is the southern part of Crowley Ridge, which runs right up there through Forest City. But turn that back off. So once again, tried to overlay it the best I could. But if you look, there are buildings throughout this entire area. And one thing that I saw was, and this is what got me started, I saw these buildings here, and then you turn off the historic topo, and let's change this. And that's the other thing you can do, is you can change the opacity so that you can see through that. So let's just drop that to 35% real quick. Come on. Shooby-doo. Oh, that's why. I'm changing the outline. Alright. And there we go. So this is the fill color. And let's put that to 75% and the opacity at 75. So once again, you can zoom in and look where those buildings are. There's nothing but woods right now. You can turn that off and then turn back on the historic map. That's the Park Place one. And so you've got buildings here, and look all up through here. And there's buildings along the old roads. I was looking at this, but that's actually somebody's property, but there were old buildings back here in the back. And once again, you can see they're not there anymore. So they might not even know where the old houses were. You can see a little 2-track coming down here probably. But the old home sites would have been where to check. And one tip I got from a buddy down in Arizona, does a lot of metal detecting, was find where the outhouses were, because they would have been heading back and forth from there, possibly dropping some coin in the neighborhood, and then find where the front room was, where the fire was, and where they could sit and look out the window, and then that would be where they would bury their treasure. It wouldn't be in the house where a fire could ruin it or somebody would break in and look for stuff, but they would find something prominent. So let's say you're sitting in the front room of one of these old houses, and you can see, just based off of foundations, where the fireplace was. They would have been sitting at the fireplace, try to figure out where the front door was and if there was a big tree or something. But here's the other thing I saw. You've got all of this area here. I mean, it's a good size swath. Let me see if I can measure it real quick. And let's do this. And let's measure it in... Oh, it's not going to give me the area. I don't think this will do it either. But anyways, that's several thousands of acres. But there's buildings all through here. And if you turn off the historical map, there's no buildings now. And in fact, the other thing I noticed, this has been logged recently, within the last, 10 years, if that. I've got a little forestry degree, so there's not a whole lot coming back. But look at all of these roads. I mean, this is an old home site or a logging pad. I mean, the loggers use the spots that are flat, and they use the places that are already clear for doing their load decks. So you can see this was a big load deck right there, and then they come out of there. So I'm not sure who owns that. It's a big swath, maybe private, maybe corporate. And then if you zoom in down here, that's where that other area was that I had marked. Once again, turn it on, and then turn the historical back on, and you can see where I was looking and why. I mean, there were houses all through this road up here, and man, those would be the spots I would hit first. The fact that they've logged it, a little ground disturbance is actually a good thing when we're metal detecting. And this package is all for you, buddy. I hope that helps you out, and I wish I could give you property ownership and things like that. I would say that this family may own this tract here because it wasn't logged, but all of this was. A company came in and essentially took that for pulp or whatever it might be. So, man, that's the place I would hit. It's 30 minutes from where you're at. So, I had done a route real quick. Actually, let me create that for you. And let's do this. Directions 2 here. And let's run it from Palestine. And there you go, 36 minutes, 17 miles straight over to Forest City. And then, man, that'd be a pretty nice drive, unless it's all clear cut. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it, but this would be a pretty drive through here. But, man, that's sort of what I would do first. So I hope that helps you out. Let me know if it does, man. And let me know if you need another spot. I can keep digging. Nothing else. I scanned those topos. Nothing else really jumped out as interesting as this area is, because of the historic nature, the historical buildings that are marked on here, and the fact that they're no longer there in that entire area. So you're going to have multiple property owners to choose from, multiple sites to try to survey and hit and find those relics. And man, I don't know about you, but I like digging up old bolts just as much as coin. Granted, some of it's more valuable, but it's all about having a good time. So take care. Hope that helps you out. Jason, see you, man. Let me know how it goes.